Welcome to Women of a Certain Stage, the podcast redefining how we think about menopause. I'm your host, Lauren Chiren, a passionate advocate for breaking the stigma and empowering individuals to navigate this transformational stage of life with confidence and clarity. Here, we're diving into a new era of menopause support, featuring expert advice, real-life stories, and actionable insights. Whether you're curious about building your personal menopause plan or you're looking to make an impact, you're in the right place. Let's embrace the change together. Amazing. Look, we've been dying to have this conversation for a while now, and we've both got really super busy schedules. So I just want to thank you, first of all, for being here today. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about you, because when I'm running the Menopause Coach Diploma, I get to see you as part of a cohort. I get to see you, we've had some conversations before the program starts, and then, it is just that part of the cohort along the journey. But can you share just a little bit for the people that are listening? What was it that you were doing before you even thought about becoming a menopause coach?
So I can share a little, but I think it will be a whole story where to start. I think when I entered perimenopause 10 years ago, and back then I found that I was misguided, not misdiagnosed, because I knew these were menopause symptoms I was having, perimenopause symptoms. And the GP was a woman in her 60s even. I found she, I call it mistreated. She had no knowledge about what was happening to me, and she had no solutions. And I felt deep in my gut, there is more. This is not the way to treat women with menopause symptoms. She told me, well, you can go back on the pill and or just accept it. And I was like, I was just new in this field, but I felt, no, this is not the way to treat women. And I became an autodidact. I thought, I'm the doctor now. I know so much more than you about what's happening, about hormones. I started to study and read every book that was out there 10 years ago. A lot of it was books out of the country, not in the Netherlands. So English books. I found it in the US and in Canada and even Germany. There was so much more ahead of knowledge and solutions. And then I thought, okay, so I'm not the only woman who goes through this phase. Of course, not every woman goes through this phase. Some women have like severe symptoms, some less, but everyone is going through menopause. Being a woman, you go through menopause, period. Yeah. And firstly, I was looking for natural ways to find balance. And because I'm a yoga therapist, back then I already was a yoga therapist, I knew that stress reduction was the number one go-to. The first thing I needed to do was stress reduction. And because of my background, I knew I needed to find something that would reduce my stress on the level of the nervous system, to really find deep relaxation on the nervous system. So I developed a course, an online course, and shared it with women. I started to coach women one-on-one with the knowledge I already had and being a yoga therapist. And now after a few years, I felt even more passionate to guide more women. And I always had the passion and the dream of having my own practice, like 100% being independent, not working for a company, doing things I don't really like.
Just let me interrupt for a minute.
Yes.
So tell me, when you say yoga therapist, is that something the same or different from a yoga instructor that like we would say here in the UK?
Well, I say, yoga therapist is that I learned to use yoga for specific problems. So if you say you're a yoga instructor, mainly you give a class, and it's if you do it right, it would be a whole balanced class, right? And it depends on what kind of yoga teacher you are. If you do hatha or you do say some more traditional, you might use mantras and meditation in your class. And You also talk about, more being aware of your spirit and the holistic approach. And some yoga teachers just give a class, it's very physical.
I think
But
that's
being a
really
yoga,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because yoga, the actual physical part of yoga is only one small aspect of yoga. And I
yes,
know when I was training as a yoga instructor, we
yeah,
weren't focused on the movement. We were focused very much on, the mind body connection. We were
right,
focused on the mantra and the chakra, and it's
yeah,
interesting. So when you say yoga therapist, I always think that feels like a more complete way of approaching
yeah.
yoga. Yeah.
How can you implement yoga for, you know, mental issues, physical issues, emotional issues, and everything is connected. So I learned how to use this knowledge for any kind of problem, and then I like to address issues through also through the chakra system. So it's a vast study, a vast knowledge of, and you can use it for problems on all these levels. And it's of course, being a yoga instructor, you approach everything holistically, but as a therapist, you can really coach or help people with certain kind of
So
problems.
you've had this personal experience of going through yoga and finding that your 60-year-old female doctor wasn't able to help and support you. You
Yeah,
found all this knowledge from the UK, the US, Germany, and other places,
yeah.
and got yourself to a place where your own knowledge was really high. At what point did you think about doing some sort of formal training or training as a menopause coach? And why did you go down that route? What provoked that thinking?
So I thought I truly need to decide what do I want to do with my life as a person, what gives me joy, what raises my energy, what raises my frequency. As you know, you're a practitioner, you have to practice what you preach. And I always preach, if you can just follow your heart, mostly follow your heart, what's in your heart, what makes you happy, what makes you tick, because that's a foundation for feeling healthy, right? Feeling balanced. So I was not happy in my workplace, and I was happy guiding women. So I thought I need, and the menopause became my niche. I give yoga to everybody, but that became my niche because I'm so passionate about this topic. And then I thought I need more expertise, I need more knowledge, I need a certification, and the coaching thing, I intuitively coach, but I knew there is much more to learn about how to really coach somebody through a sort of kind of goal you have. So that's why I was looking for a menopause coaching education
And when you
course.
started looking, what sort of things did you find out there in the market?
So I was googling, and of course, because I live in the Netherlands, everything that was there was came up in the Netherlands, and it was just like I felt it was not only a few courses, not too much, but the one that's out here, it didn't appeal to me. It was too, maybe not holistic, and intuitively. I always choose intuitively, and I found that you have like a certain structure, the menopause plan. I was really drawn to that because I know I need structure. I'm a very intuitive person. I live intuitive. That's a strong point, right? But so can also be your shadow, that not a shadow side, but it can be a hard thing to find structure. And I felt I need a frame, which will be my guide. But in that frame, I need to be able to implement my own knowledge and my own intuitive coaching. So I thought, okay, the menopause plan, that's interesting, and how to guide women in 7 weeks or less, but the plan is 7 weeks through, yeah, I don't think you really said through a certain kind of goal, but you guide women through feeling better than where you start. think that's in essential. That's what the menopause plan is about.
And how did you feel that aligned with what you wanted to do going forward?
It really aligned because I guided women with the menopause plan. I guided 3 women now, and with all the women, I implemented my background as a yoga therapist. The I found that we set goals right in the beginning, and when you set your goal out of your mind, it's different than when you ground and you align and you tune into your core, into your
Yeah.
heart. And it was very easy to implement that part into the menopause plan. And for me, I found that it gave so much more depth into the guidance. So for me, it's a good combination and it works.
So we originally had a conversation before you decided to sign up for the program.
Yeah.
And I think for me that's one of the things I love to do, because I love to meet my students before
Yeah.
we start working together, because the cohort is relatively small. We
Yeah.
want to make sure that we've got a good combination of women and men and everybody together in the program. So how did you find it being with people from all different countries around the world, and also the fact that we were delivering this in English, which you are absolutely fluent in, but the fact that
Thank you.
it's a second language, right? Because I know, we've spoken about this, right? You've said to me, sometimes I can't find the word, or there isn't
Right.
a direct translation. So how did you find working with the global community, and also with it being delivered in English as well?
I do like the international. See, now I can find the word.
Now I've planted that seed. The power of
We go
suggestion.
back and forth with this connection, international connection. I like it. I lived abroad in 2 other countries, and I met a lot of people who are also not natives, and natives also. I just like the international contact any which way. So maybe that's why the Dutch education was not so drawn to me, because I don't know, there is I like expansion,
Yeah.
and when you have connection with people all over the world, it feels more expanded than just being in this. I don't know how to explain. It's just different. I just like that, and
Yeah.
because I, I can really understand English very well, way better than talking English. So that was not a big problem. And once you're in the cohort, once you're in it, you start talking English again, you find your words. But because I never talk English daily, it's hard to find. But once you're in it, it becomes more
Yeah.
fluent, and you
Yeah.
find your words much more easily. But I liked it that, yeah.
And besides the
Liked it.
menopause plan, what other aspects of the program did you particularly find useful?
What other kind parts of the
So
program?
when we went through the whole 18 weeks, we did
Yeah.
the module on the medical side, the doctors, and then we did the coaching and listening, we did the menopause plan, then we did the mind and body and all the other modules.
Yeah.
What aspects of the whole program did you find particularly useful?
The coaching part, how to coach, and also like the to become conscious about the difference of coaching, mentoring, educating, being a therapist, because that's where I easily be trapped in like I like to advise people because I don't know, I think it is in my personality that I like to help people where I think I can help. So I give advice unasked for very easily, and that's not that's actually that's a way of mentoring.
Yeah.
So when I entered this course, okay, you want to become a coach, well then you really need to listen first, listen, and listen what the other person is telling you, what the other person is needing, yeah, what the other person needs, and where is the person at, what is the ability and the capability. And I can give my advice, but maybe the person is not there yet, and then you That's not encouraging. So the coaching part for me was a big lesson, and how to coach was very interesting. And the business plan part in the end, I really like, because okay, now we have this diploma, and okay, so what's now?
Yeah.
What to do next? You want to go out there in the world. You want that people find you. You want to let people know you're around. But how will you become visible? And
Yeah.
what's your tone of voice and mindset? The mindset part I really like too, because it's a
Yeah.
big thing. And if you want to start your own business, your mindset and your belief systems, your limiting belief systems. That was also a part of this coach. So
Yeah.
important to become aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when were coming through the program and you were doing your practice clients, how did that help you think about reaching out for clients, and what did you do to find your practice clients?
Well, I found one practice client of my there was an ex-colleague, and
Yep.
she did a few workshops with me, because I already gave workshops for women in corporate business with my ex um, employer. So I just asked, I said, do you want to do a one-on-one with me? You want to be my private client? And she said, yes, I would love that, because I already knew she was so engaging in all my workshop. I knew she was really listening to me and like, absorbing everything I said. So I know she's enthusiastic. So I asked her, and she was really reliable. Every week we had this appointment. She showed up. So that was a really good client, practice client. And the other one, it was through social media. My friend posted my post.
Excellent.
I'm looking for a few practice clients, and then she reposted my post on Instagram. And actually, I'm just looking at her now. She lives like on the other side of this building. I can literally
Ah.
only almost look into her living room, and she found me through my friend through Instagram. So that was really funny. Yeah,
Excellent. Small world, small world.
yeah,
Everything's meant to be, right? The right
yes,
energy, the energies align, the people align. I think
yeah,
that's fantastic. And I
yeah,
love the fact it's interesting because when I speak to grads, often they'll talk about the menopause plan, or they'll talk about feeling like they needed, some structure to how they were going to support people through menopause. But I love the fact that you talked about the business coaching, the business aspect of it as well,
yeah,
because you're right. If you're coming out of corporate, or you're coming out of being in an employed role, is a very different mindset to running your own
yeah.
business as well. So since you've graduated, tell me a little bit more about what you've been doing, and what that's looked like for you.
So now it's only a few months. Time is flying. Um, so I quit my job, right? So
Ooh.
I'm totally independent now. And it's very hard, to being employed your whole life, even though
Mm.
I already was part time doing my own thing, teaching yoga, coaching. But now I'm totally independent and fully focused. So what I've been doing is like all sorts of stuff. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So I need more structure, I need more focus. So now I have a business coach who would definitely I need a business coach who will help me to be more structured. But I'm continuing my workshops on the work floor for my ex-employer. I'm still on that. I coached somebody through the menopause plan besides the practice clients or paid client. That went very well. I'm still giving yoga classes, and I mix it now with dance. It's not
Mm.
particularly for the menopausal women, but most women who come are in this age group 40 to 60, and that gives me a lot of energy. Yeah, and going forward, I'm setting up my fundament and my business plan, and my main focus is corporate.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, so I'm
Excellent.
I'm working on my communication, my marketing, how to reach out, how to make clear what this menopause plan is about. So I do have some questions after this podcast, because going forward, the course is something and then it ends, but then you continue with developing and evolving, and if you want to make it your business. And then you have all these possibilities. And yeah, I have some more questions about how the menopause plan can.
Let's talk. Let's talk about it now.
Yeah, okay, great. So in the business plan, for me, if I reach out, it's important to let the company know what can the menopause plan deliver. What's the extent? Is that a good English word? What's the difference between, for example, me or another party who say, well, I'm a menopause coach, or I am this and this kind of coach, and I want to bring menopause awareness on the work floor for HR management, and I can guide women. I think they would like to know, well, why are you so special? Why should I go with you? Why should I say yes? Come, Delilah. We like to have you because you are the only one that has this certification in the Netherlands. I'm the only one who's been trained by you, by women going to a certain stage.
Yeah, and I think what makes you unique is this, so first of all, I'll answer specifically, and I think this is a really good question not to do after the podcast, but to do during the podcast. So let's
cool.
do it, right?
Right.
Because this is something, and this is why we have 12-month support after you graduate. That's why you still have access to the portal. You've still got the community. You've still got access to me. And this is why we do the additional 4 training sessions after you graduate as well. So you've got that ongoing support. And obviously, I invest further in you by doing these podcasts and having this time together and showcasing what you're doing as well. So I think that, first of all, there isn't a singular off-the-shelf answer, because when we start giving off-the-shelf answers, it becomes and sounds very formulaic. And before we started recording, do you remember we said, let's just keep it authentic. Let's not bother, referring to notes or worrying about what the answers are, because whatever the answer is in the moment is the right answer at that moment in time.
Yeah.
So what makes you unique? Why would I hire you if I was a corporate organization? So it would be the depth of your skills and knowledge in yoga, in yoga therapy. It would be all your work experience, all your life experience. It would be everything that you've ever done that's helped somebody else. It would be your personality. It would be the fact that you've got a CPD, women of a certain stage, certified menopause coach diploma, that you've got access to a network of menopause specialists in a number of fields. So all the specialists that you met on the program, from the doctors, the university professors, nutrition, personal training, myself, people like Jen, who delivered in the confidence side, or Laura that did the emotional freedom technique, Chris that did the business building side, that you've got all these additional network on top of your existing network that you already had. So why you is because of the incredible skills, knowledge, and experience that you bring to this work, and your passion for this work, and your genuine open heart to want to make a difference.
Yeah.
So there's the why you piece, but there's also the so what. So what? Why should I bring anybody in to do this work?
Yeah.
Right? And that's the question that usually is the head that's asking that question. It's the brain that's asking that question. So people buy people. So someone's going to buy Delilah services because they like you, they resonate with you, and they can see that your knowledge, experience, and background is a good fit for their organization or for them as an individual. But they're going to buy on a head-based, brain-based business based on facts and figures and numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So we know that there is an issue with women leaving work age 45 to 55.
Yeah.
We know that there is an issue with divorce and relationship breakdown. So that means all genders. So if we think about the fact that they've got, maybe it's a male dominant company, maybe it's most of their leaders are men. Most of the leaders are men in their 40s and 50s. Maybe they've got a wife at home or a partner at home who's struggling. Or maybe it's a female who's got a female partner at home who's struggling.
Yeah.
And that's affecting them at work because they're worried about their partner. They're worried about leaving their partner with the children. And that's affecting them showing up for work. So if you're able to deliver menopause awareness services and the menopause plan into an organization and help someone understand what's going on in their life, get the right help and support for themselves or their partner, then obviously you're going to be increasing someone's focus and attention on the job, which is going to increase their performance. And that overall is going to be a massive win to the organization. So we know that for every individual that we lose to an organization, it
Yeah.
costs somewhere between 112 and 220% of their salary to replace them. So
Yeah.
we want to make sure that we understand when someone is becoming perimenopausal and might need help and support, and make help and support like the menopause plan from Delilah available to them. Because then they can learn about menopause, they can understand how to help themselves and stay focused on the job and stay turning up and doing a good job instead of doubting themselves, going off sick, struggling with all the menopause symptoms that can
Yeah.
exist out there. So there's lots of different reasons why organizations will now invest in bringing in menopause coaches, and especially because there's such a turn now in wanting to make sure that we've got enough women in senior leadership roles.
Yeah.
Because we know that organizations, all the research shows us that when we've got parity with the number of women in leadership roles, organizations perform better. So there's a lot of research out there. And if you look in the portal, if you look in the learning portal, for anyone that's listening, my students have a learning portal that has got an entire library from A to Z on all things to do with menopause. So from ADHD and menopause all the way through to work and menopause. So have a look in the portal and you'll find lots more information on facts and figures to create a business case as well.
I can also imagine that they think, okay, the why, yeah, the what, the figures and what's going on for women in this certain stage. But because I have this certain education and certificate, what is the difference between? Now, there's not a difference, but what is so special about the menopause plan? I experienced it, but for a company, how can I explain that this is a special education and I'm the only one who has these skills? Would you have an idea what the difference could be with somebody else who has menopause knowledge, expertise, to raise more awareness on the work floor and to guide women with some tips and tricks and lifestyle guidance?
I think you just have to sink into your own belief around who you are and what you've got to offer. And in the same way as when we first spoke, or someone says to me, well, why your course and not someone else's? It's not my job to, although I have done all the courses in the market that I'm aware of, it's not my job to talk someone else's course up or talk someone else's courses down. It's my job to tell you what my course offers.
Yeah.
And for you and I to work out, is this a good fit for you right now? And that's the same as I do. So if I'm going to a large organization and I'm sitting down with their HR director or their diversity and inclusion director, I talk about what are your pain points? What are the challenges you're facing right now? Okay, this is how I can help you fix those issues. This is how I can take you on a journey to turn those issues around so that they be no longer issues. So for me, it's not about saying I'm better than anyone else, because it's not about being better or worse. It's about being the right fit for that organization at that time.
Yeah.
And I think very much like you go through practice clients. I trained you to be a menopause coach.
Yeah.
So you're now a certified menopause coach, you're a yoga therapist, you're many, many more incredible things as well. It's now thinking in this new space, what is enough, right? What is enough? Because I know a lot of people, not saying you, but I'm saying a lot of people want it to be perfect before they go and reach out and connect with other people. But just taking that one step forward and reaching out, having a conversation, coming back, reflecting on, well, their issue is that they don't know much about menopause. They don't know how to help support their women. Okay, let's do a pilot. Let's run the menopause plan for 7 weeks with a small group of 4 to 6 women at this price point, and let's have a meeting afterwards and talk about the wins from that experience. When would you like to do it again?
Yeah.
So there's different ways of positioning it depending on the size of the company, the structure of the company, what sort of challenges that they've got. And I think that, this is a really good conversation, because this is about making you able to be in the world and making the difference in a way that you want to make it. And that's really important as well.
Yeah. Once you're in, I can imagine what you're just explaining. But I'm thinking now one step before, like I reach out to a company, I have this email address of an HR person who don't know me, and then I have to introduce myself, and maybe it's negative thinking or limiting. Then I think, okay, but why? First of all, they need to read it, right? Everybody's mailbox is so full, and you hope that they will read it because they have to be like attracted to it. And then think, okay, your menopause code, yeah. Why
So
should
the
I
first thing,
invite you?
sure.
Um,
So
I
first of
don't think
all,
you have to have is something special, like because you have these huge organizations. Those way more professional than I am. I don't have a professional
and
website.
this
I have
is
a whole
this is
team.
not about a comparison. So this is, remember in the course I always say, let's let
Yeah,
go of comparisonitis. So we're
yeah,
not trying to be a large corporate organization. We're trying to be a menopause coach.
yeah.
In the same way as they know corporate, but they don't know how to be a menopause coach. So
Right.
we each have our own place and we each have our own skills. So first of all, it's a numbers game. If you're going to reach out to cold emails, then it's about how many people can you reach out to. It's a numbers game. So set yourself a target of a certain number of people you're going to reach out to every week. Because if we worry about does person A open the email, we will never send a second email. So we just want to know that every week we're sending out a certain number of emails.
Right.
And every week we're finding new emails to send out. Secondly, we want the subject line to be very short and very pertinent. Now, for some people, it's going to speak to them, and for other people, it's not. So, for example, what do I mean by that? I might put in the title free menopause resource,
Ah.
right? And then inside say, hi, do you have this issue? You know, or, you know, just opening with a question, is this an issue for you? If it is, you might want to click on the download below or the PDF I've attached. If you like what's in that, let's arrange a call, you know,
Yeah.
or reply to me and let me know what did you think about the PDF, right? So we're not trying to sell ourselves. We're not trying to explain
Yeah.
our service. We're not trying to do anything. All we're trying to do is get their attention and let them know that we exist.
Right.
Because it's a bit like, I always use the analogy, or it's certainly an analogy I was taught, which was when someone asks you out on a date, they don't expect to marry you that day,
Yeah, I like this
right?
analogy. Yeah.
Okay, they're going to take you out. They're going to treat you nice. They're going to give you a few things, maybe, hopefully, perhaps. Who knows? I don't know.
They
Different
might
people
pay the
want different
bill,
things. They
hopefully.
might pay the bill. They might pay half the bill. I don't know. But if they're asking you out on a first time, they're not wanting anything back from you. They just want to give to you. They want to support you and do something good for you. So the initial thing is not about who's Delilah or what type of qualification have you got or anything to do with that. It's just like, hey, Mr. Organization, Mrs. Organization, Ms. Organization, is this an issue? If it is, check this out. If you check it out, what did you think about it? If they come back to you, you can go, hey, I'm really excited to see that this is what you thought about it. Would you like to have a conversation? Or if they're not ready for conversation, you might say, that's great. You know, I run these workshops. If you want to send any of your people to the workshops, this is the information, because you're already running workshops, right? So there's that route. And that's like a small taster, small amount of money, small taster for them to see what you're like. A bit like I run my free masterclasses, my free Menopause Basics course, right?
Yeah.
And then once people get to know you, trust you, you're demonstrating that you're real, that you've got knowledge, that you show up, and that you can deliver what you are talking about.
Yeah.
Then you want to get into conversation. Look, I'm running this program called the Menopause Plan. It's been delivered to, you know, many thousands of people now. It's super successful at helping people who are struggling with menopause symptoms, who are maybe not showing up at work in the way that you would like them to show up, and helps them to get focused, get back to their normal performance, and find a way to successfully navigate their way through, right? So it's not about opening a conversation and getting a piece of work up front. It's about opening a relationship, developing a relationship, and then when the time's right, having the conversation to see whether or not you're a good fit to work with them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is when it becomes a numbers game, because it's a machine. So you put one in, if you don't get any traction, you then get despondent and you worry about sending the next email. If you just say, right, every week I'm sending out 5 emails, 10 emails, 15 emails, and you just keep adding new emails all the time, you focus on how many emails can I put in the machine, not on what's the outcome of these emails. Does that make sense?
So because you focus of how many And of all these numbers, there definitely would be one or two or three companies who will say, "Hey, I'm interested."
Yeah.
That would be your focus. And also, like, to be realistic, if you starting your business and you're reaching out to corporates, it's not going to, not everybody is interested. So you
No.
don't be, I don't need to be disappointed about it.
No. No.
Keep
No.
continuing, because I also heard you said before that now, people not reading their mailboxes so often because everybody is so overwhelmed through the capacity of all these free newsletters and right. So yeah, you need to have a long breath. That's literally translated out of the Dutch language. I don't know if
That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
long breath, and then you continue. But thank you, this is really helpful.
And hopefully people that are listening can, it's
Yeah.
also reassuring to know that it's a journey. You didn't meet me and become a certified menopause coach the day you met me. You went through a process and a journey of learning and practicing and creating and developing. And, this is why we have that extra year support afterwards and why we do the podcasts as well, because it's not about trying to be perfect. It's about just making 1% progress day in, day out.
Yeah.
And I had no business plan when I started any of this. I still don't have a business plan. It was just about knowing I wanted to make a difference and trying to reach as many people as possible and talking to as many people as possible. And you will remember Dr. Farhat.
Yeah.
So I've just spoken to Dr. Farhat literally before we jumped on to record the
yeah.
podcast. And we were talking about what's the next thing that's coming up. What are the things that are affecting people now? And this is part of just continuing to have these conversations keeps us up to date with what's going on, keeps us aware of what experiences people are having, and then we can think about how can we continue to serve and to help other people, which is basically I think what we're here for, right? Is to stop other people from going on the journeys that we went on.
Yeah, I think it's what you say. It's a journey, and sometimes maybe that's how I wired. I see the end, or I already want to be in the end, in the goal, like but it takes months. It might be taking years. So just relax and breathe and be in the now and continue, because like I said before, practice what you preach. You're like in essential, you try to find new balance, new energy when you go into menopause. Self-confidence, new self-confidence. And then for me now, starting my own business, it's the same. I have to keep the balance and be confident. And that's also the part of the course I like, that during the course we talk with you, right? And you talk with everybody, and we ask questions in all these 18 weeks. I don't know how to explain it, but I think you also guide us to stay close to who we are as a person and not doing a certain kind of program. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's not about becoming a carbon copy of what I'm putting out there.
Right.
It's about taking what you're learning from all the experts in the program, taking the structure and then making it your own, doing it in a way that feels authentic to you, because that way you're going to reach people that I'll never reach, because we've got very different backgrounds, different skill sets, we're different people, different personalities. And I think that that's what I love so much about the program, is the fact that there are other programs that say, right, you learn it this way, and these are the materials, and you must deliver it in that geographical region for that amount of money. And, it's all licensed and it's got to be attributed back to the company. I believe that we'll reach more people by having your authenticity all over everything that you do.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think,
being authentic.
you have the structure and you have the name and you have the brand behind you, but you're not in a handcuff to having to do it in a certain way.
No. But if I can refer that to the menopause plan itself, that's how I see the menopause plan also. It's not a fixed method you need to follow, and then you will reach your goals, like a Weight Watchers plan or something.
Yeah.
And then, in the end, it won't work because you cannot implement it. It's not something that is realistic or doable for you. So that's what I like about the plan. It's very tailor-made. It's very personal, but with little steps, and going forward.
Yeah.
So it's very unachievable. Yeah, the clients, you let the client pick the goal,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And you let the client pick how to reach the goal, and we guide them, and that's what I like. So they stay also close to themselves. It's
Yeah.
that, and I think before I enrolled for your course, that I didn't know back then what it was, but intuitively I knew it is something that is close to how I am and how I want to perform and how I do want to coach, and that is what I like, the word authentic. I think that's very to me very important in life, to be authentic. If we all are authentic, we would be having a different world.
Oh, 100%.
That's my opinion.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the one single thing that you think is the best thing that you took away from the program?
For myself, being confident that I have something to offer that can really make a difference, in
Beautiful.
somebody else's life.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time to connect and to chat today. And I hope that when I send this back to you, and that when people are listening to it, it's going to provoke lots of questions and lots of thoughts about, just the difference that we can make in this world. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you would like to share today?
I like to share that I love you. I love your personality. I love your vibe. You're authentic, and I love that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right back at you.
Thank
Ditto.
you.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank you for joining me on Women of a Certain Stage. I hope today's episode inspired you to think differently about menopause and the incredible opportunities this stage of life brings. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with 3 friends who need to hear this message. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps us reach even more people. You can connect with me on LinkedIn at Lauren Chiren, or visit our website at womenofacertainstage.com to learn more about menopause coaching, inspiring events, and corporate training. Until next time, let's continue making a difference, one conversation at a time.